All right, third time's a charm. Replay viewers, hey guys, thanks for jumping back in. Appreciate it. We're live at LACMA in Los Angeles. Hey, thank you for those hearts, and thank you guys for sticking with us as we figure it out. Is this better? Is this working, guys? Can you hear us now? Percussive, Beetle Percussion, Shane. Yeah, number 3. Hey, if it doesn't work the first time, don't give up. Thank you for sharing, guys. Beetle Percussion, thank you guys so much for sharing. For all of us that are sharing right now, I'm going to turn this landscape for just a moment, see if you can see us. Rudimental 3000. For those of you who are joining us for the 3rd time, thank you for sticking with us. If you're just jumping in for the first time, my name is Wei. This is my buddy Carl. Everyone say, what's up, Carl?
What's up?
Yeah.
How's it going?
He's updating his feed right now to let people know that we're on right now. Kirsten, thank you for joining. Note, in the future, if you ever visit LACMA in, hi Carl, Jack St. Louis.
Hi, how's it going?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think Jack follows you on Instagram.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Heart attack. Yeah, I know, right? Things happen, Mark. And so this is a good lesson. If it doesn't work, keep going, because eventually it will work. So a note, Kaysen, my man Carl, Swag Like Goku on Instagram.
Thank you. Appreciate it. What's up?
Shout out for Carl. If you ever visit LACMA in Los Angeles, just know that they have free Wi-Fi out here, which is amazing. Pretty soon the entire world is going to be Wi-Fi wired. For those of you who are just joining, thank you so much for following. Thank you so much for the hearts that are coming through. Another note, LA doesn't like tripods. That is absolutely true, Mark. We walked over, the first thing we did when we walked over, you can see the security guards here.
I was afraid they were going to shut us down before we even got started.
And here, the first thing they said was, hey, no tripods. So if you see this, I've got this little tiny Gorilla Pod for the phone, and I can do this. And we said earlier, I was like, well, let's see how they react to the tripod. And we set this on the ground, and they didn't say anything to us, so we're gonna try that. Lo, they did that to us too. Connor, thanks for joining us. So we started with a short introduction. We had some Wi-Fi problem earlier, but in short, Carl Drum Tech is a retired drum teacher. He taught at Torrance High School for 16 years, and what I was gonna say before we got cut off earlier, thank you for those hearts, those that are floating up over here. Anytime you see a powerhouse program, just realize that it doesn't happen overnight, right? Any powerhouse program that you see starts from the ground up. And it's usually because there's some staff member who's been there for years and years and years and years. I mean, Carl, can you just talk a little bit about what Torrance was like before you got there and how you saw it change over 16 years of being there?
It's definitely, I wouldn't say we're the most successful program in the world, but it was definitely an interesting story. It was definitely an interesting ride. When I was there, going to high school there, I mean, we were like an up and coming like powerhouse. My drum instructor, Dave Gonzalez, who is now the band director at Punahou High School in Hawaii, it was like a father figure to us. It was a really great experience. And, but like I said, it was like a budding powerhouse. By the end, by my junior year, we were competing against, at the time, Mission Viejo was one of the top dogs. Thousand Oaks was one of the top dogs. Maybe the high schools that you are seeing now in the SoCal area that is dominating, that is like, consistently good, they were still like in the lower like divisions and things like that. And then just like, pretty much my senior year was the last year of my drum instructor, so he kind of, he left after that. Mm-hmm. But, the way I got involved was just, I just came by because, I enjoyed the experience so much of being in, like, a really good group, that family atmosphere, that I wanted other people to kind of, like, experience that as well. So that's the whole reason why I wanted to come down. And I just told the new band director and the new drum instructor that, hey, I just want to help. Yeah. Right? And it's like, I didn't think about getting paid. I didn't think about, like, anything like that. I just said, I just want to help out. So I just kind of helped out. And for whatever reason, it kind of just evolved into like a paying gig, to be like an unofficial like assistant drum instructor. And then once the drum instructor guy kind of started flaking, the band director said, okay, cool. So, you're out, now you're in. And it's like, I'm like this fresh out of high school, maybe 1.5 years out of it. And it was kind of cool. He sat me down with the kids and said, I think he's ready. So and I just said, cool, let's do it. And I kind of owned it, and it was just like, all right, now I'm the man. Like,
and that's a life lesson for you guys out there. Is like, it's amazing how many opportunities open up because you start doing it just because you have the most hearts. Yeah, you do, Jack. Thank you so much. Those of you who are still tapping over here, that's great. How many big opportunities come up from people who are just doing it? Right? You do it not because you're getting paid. You're not doing it because of the prestige that you're hoping to get someday. You do it because it's good work and you want to do it. And because you're there in the right place at the right time, people give you that shot.
Right.
You're reliable, you do good work, you're a nice person, and
yeah,
that's a big deal, right?
Absolutely. And you know, it's interesting. Like, you know, I had never thought of it that way. But you know, I mean, it's funny. We do talk about these things all the time. But you know, I just thought, you know, hey, I'm just going to help out. I just want to do the thing. And all of a sudden, it's a paying gig. You know, then I started teaching at other schools. Then I started doing the whole drum corps thing. You know, at the same time. But then, you know, after drum corps, after all that stuff, you know, I still, every single time I come back, I do the high school thing. And like I said, you know, it wasn't the most successful thing in the world. Maybe in my first 2 years when I was like, I don't know what your experience is like, you know, as a teacher and stuff like that, but when I first started teaching, like, I was like a control freak. Like, I wanted to, like, everything had to be perfect. I was super strict. People had to do push-ups, you know, if, like, they missed the sticks out. Like, I was harsh, like, seriously, like, dark. Like, people call me Dark Man. I don't know. And just, like, it was super negative. You know, I taught, you know, just to, like, based on fear, intimidation, and they got good, actually.
Oh my God, that's our directors.
That's so
Jack,
funny.
you can't say that, man. What if your directors are watching this feed? They're gonna know. Push-ups 24/7. Wow.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's really common.
I think a lot of, you know, instructors, you know, our age, drum corps was very much that back in the day, where it was like teaching through fear and intimidation. Hey, see you guys back. See you, Jack. Like when I marched Phantom, I remember that staff was very much about if you missed a rep, you were running laps, you were doing push-ups.
Right.
And when I got to Cavaliers, my friends asked me, do you know how many push-ups or how many laps I took that summer? 0.
Wow.
And, you know, what they said was basically every lap you take or every push-up you do, that's one less drumming rep that you get to do.
True.
Right?
Absolutely.
Now, do there need to be consequences when you don't do something? Yeah, absolutely. But how do you make it so that it's positive? Kids have changed and have to adapt. That's absolutely true. Who said that? We meant 2000. Yeah, absolutely. MJM. Good point. So how did your teaching change over the years from going to dark man, very strict, to because I saw the video of on your site about the director giving the speech, the thank you speech for, you know, all the work that you did.
Yeah.
And you left the program as a beloved figure that, you know, people were really sad to see go. So
Sure.
How would you talk about, like, your teaching style evolving from when you first started to 16 years later?
Well, it's really interesting because, you know, like I said, maybe the first 2 years we were winning. I was super strict. I was super dark. And I basically had to change out of necessity. And I changed out of necessity because, hey, guess what? Even though we won, people quit, like, en masse. And it was just like, I don't get it. Like, we won. Like, we won a championship. And it's like, why does half the drumline want to quit? Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And they did. So it just, you know, it caused, like, a whole soul-searching phase where I had to be like, all right, well, obviously, even though we're winning, this is not working. This is not conducive in terms of just, like, people having a good experience, obviously, right? If they had a good experience, they would stay. So, you know, I had to change, and, you know, at first I was super relaxed and super loose, and then the kids kind of just, like, you know, the inmates ran the asylum, so to speak, right? And it's just like, okay, cool, so that's not working because, you know, we're not getting anything done. You know, we're consistently at the bottom of the pile every single time.
Yeah.
So then it's just, now I can ramp it up a little bit more. And, you know, I found that, you know, just like a mixture of both. Like, as you were saying, you know, there's times when, you know, punishment is, you know, kind of, it's like a motivation tool.
Yeah.
You know, like once in a while it's effective.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I truly believe that positivity is the way.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw a comment come through. I think it was Justin who said, "Never did high school drumline, but college line is super fun." Yeah, and Patrick, that's a good point, right? Because I think Justin's comment was, "Drumline isn't fun line." But you know what? I mean, the whole reason why I think all of us who do drumline, we get the bug. You know, you think it's amazing. You think it is so fun. Like, why else would you be out in the sun for 12 hours a day on a field in the middle of nowhere drumming if it wasn't fun?
I mean, it's like if we're going to do something fun. I mean, why would we? Exactly. It's like we can do other things. We can go to the mall. We can, like, go watch a movie. We can do some chill at the beach, whatever. But it's like, you know, it's got to be super enjoyable to drum, to be out in those, like, really harsh conditions.
Yeah. Mark says that, you know, you can't let the kids force you to be in the dark. That's something I think as a young teacher, you have to go through that phase of learning of not being dark. Like when I was finishing up at UT Austin for my undergrad, my last year, I worked as the band staff, and I teched the drum line with a graduate student. So I'm like 22 at the time, and I've got this grad student, and I'm coming fresh off a tour with Cavaliers. I'm like, oh yeah, guys. And I remember we were working on this 5-lit roll, and I remember, it's so embarrassing to say this now, but I remember stopping the Met and saying, guys, it's just a 5-lit roll. Come on, let's go. And I'm getting mad at this drum line for not being able to play a 5-lit roll. And it just shows you, as a young teacher, you have to learn how to read the situation and give the right feedback. Sometimes,
empathy.
Yeah, empathy, absolutely. Sometimes 5-lit rollers are fun. Big time empathy, huge, right? And earlier, I think Patrick mentioned that you've got one director who's the dark one and one who's the positive reinforcement. Like, there definitely is that when you're team teaching approach where you've got the good cop and the bad cop. And the bad cop doesn't have to make it dark, though. You can be strict and demanding and have high standards without making the situation negative.
Right.
And I think that's so important when you're in a drum line. It's got to be, the achievement is the payoff.
Right.
Right.
And at the same time, it's like, I'm not necessarily saying that, dark man is not the way to go. I mean, there's some way, like we keep talking about this all the time, but there are some instances where it kind of calls for, where it can call for it, but I don't necessarily disapprove of, like a certain technique. I mean, I think there's merit in all techniques. So, just what is the application? What is the context in which you're doing it? I think that is truly the most important thing. And then eventually, whatever you feel like is, the way to go, that's what you should do, and you should be 100% committed to it and just go for it.
That's awesome. Hey guys, let us in the comments know, what kind of teaching style do you feel like is most effective for you? What do your teachers do for you that makes you go like, yeah, I want to do it? It's making sure you communicate with the kids up front. Absolutely. Being real, being authentic. That's a big part of it. Great comment. Thanks, Mark. Positivity. Yep, absolutely. I will say, though, that being positive, sometimes young teachers mistake being positive with blowing smoke up people's butts. Mm-hmm. It's like, if it's not good, don't say it's good. Mm-hmm. Because if you do, the kids know if it's not good. And you're like, hey, yeah, that was awesome. And the kids are like, that wasn't very good. Your kids, as a student, the kind of harsh one is motivating. That's true. Yeah,
it can
true.
be.
But when you're just blowing smoke up people's butts, they learn to not trust what your ears are saying or what you're doing. If you're not able to help the weakest player, you're setting yourself up. If you're not able to help the weakest player, you're setting yourself up. Positive, we learned it. I missed that one, sorry. Helping younger players, I think one thing that I've learned a lot recently too is teaching students how to help other students. There's only one Carl Drum Tech. There's only one way. But if you can train other student leaders within the organization to be helping those students, then you're in fact cloning yourself. Yeah. 4 or 5 times over, and it's just about how do you get better faster.
And I guess that is your legacy, right? Because when you leave it behind, it's like, what impact have you made on that kid to where they can really take that the rest of their lives, to where they can affect other people. I think that's what legacy means. Yeah. Ultimately.
What's crazy is I'm recently just now getting to the point when leadership, absolute team effort.
Only one
there's
way,
only
way.
one way. Who's that? Jack St. Louis? You're blocked, man. Blocked. I'm kidding. The challenge isn't coming up with a pun for my name. The challenge is coming up with a pun that I haven't heard before. Yep, me and another player kind of rounds up the group to push us forward.
That's awesome.
Yeah, sweet. So guys,
I think the part of it is it's an interesting point. If you do help to try to push other people, it's like you got to make it like this is the party, like this is the jam, this is like the most fun thing in the world. And if you believe in it 100%, that this is like the shit. Sorry if I'm cursing, but if you believe that truly, that's when people really want to join that party.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that really stuck with me when I was in high school. I was like a freshman or sophomore, and every hotshot high school kid goes through this phase where they think they know more than they know. Especially when I was teaching high school, you teach your kids, they start to run, they're like, oh, I'm getting good. And every high school kid goes through this phase where they think they know everything. I'll admit, I went through that phase too, where I got to this is embarrassing to say again also, where my teacher would say oh, your 12 inches is too high, you're playing 15. Mm-hmm. And I'd be like, no, my heights are perfect.
Did you get offended?
Yeah, I not so much offended, but that I didn't trust what my coach was saying. Make sure that you don't blow smoke. Yeah, also give props when there is a breakthrough. Absolutely, having that huge aha moment. But I felt like I had this moment where I thought I knew better, which is such a dangerous thing, right? When you think you know better than your coach. I can't remember where I read this, but someone was saying how the Olympic athletes who end up winning gold, they have this complete blind trust in their coach. You've got to find the best coach that's out there, and whatever the coach tells them to do, they do 100% without questioning. And you just have to put your faith that they're going to tell you the right thing, and they're there for you, and to trust them.
Yeah.
Because they can see things and notice things that you can't.
Yeah.
Right? You think about boxing, when they get back in between the rounds, their coach is telling them like, hey, this is what I see, try this, do this, do this, do this.
Right.
But so I was like a freshman or sophomore, and I remember my instructor saying, hey, when you mark time, pick your feet up, because you'll be able to feel the beat better, and it simulates when you're actually marching. Just your staff is the mantra for life in this activity. One reason I want to start lessons already. Yep, you are. So I'm a punk high school kid, and in my head I'm thinking, oh, if I just keep my toes on the ground but I'm moving my heels, I'm so good I can still feel the beat, right? And that's just an indicator of like I was kind of a punk in those early years. And wouldn't you know, every top 12 DCI group in the world picks their feet up when they mark time, right? There's a reason that we do that. But it was a lesson for me, because later on I realized, hey, everyone goes through that phase where they think they know more than they really do, and just be careful that you don't fall into that pit trap.
Absolutely.
The same instructor also told me it's fun to be good.
I've said that.
It's fun to be good, right?
I've said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and that was the justifier for me being dark, right? It's like, yes, you're suffering. Yes, I'm being mean, but hey, you're good. That's fun, right?
Yeah. I will say that when I teach, especially groups, like as a teacher, you've got your clinic teaching style, and then you've got your regular teaching style for the kids that you see day in, day out, right? And with those kids, you can be a little bit more strict. You can push them a little further, because you know the kids, you've got some rapport with them, you know their personalities, you know how far you can push them before you need to switch hats and do the encouraging thing. And kids are never going to do more than what you ask them to do.
Right.
It's hard, right?
Yeah.
Unless you find that rare kid that's going to go above and beyond and do that. So as teachers, kids, if you ever have a teacher who you feel like is just riding you and being a jerk, that's their job. Their job is to be hard on you and to push you further than you think you can go, and get you to achieve more than you think you can achieve. That's what our
Absolutely.
job is, teachers.
Absolutely.
That's what we need to do.
I mean, it's all in how you take it, right? It's like, you can have an instructor who's super positive, you have an instructor who is negative. At the end of the day, it's not how you get good is not really their responsibility. At the end of the day, like they're the ones that give you the information, but you have to actually put in the work. You have to actually put in the time. They can't do that for you, right? It's like all they do is, it's very cliche, right? All these teachers do is they open the door for you. You're the one that has to walk through it, right? So ultimately, the responsibility of you getting good is you. So,
okay. We've got 10 minutes coming up here, guys. Let's do a scene change. We're going to walk around and show you a little bit of what we're doing.
Oh, my back's killing me. Oh, and I lost feeling in my feet.
It's because you're getting old, Carl. At Carl Drumtech, old. All right, so we've got some Twitter questions here. Those of you who sent in questions, thank you very much. We're going to walk around, so Gridbook just kind of getting out of that kind of hard thanks. Yeah, casing.
You want to go out? I can catch up?
Yeah. So we're just going to walk through here. I'll walk through. First question's for you, though, Carl. All right, cool. First question. It says, hi, Wei and Carl. How did you get started in drumline?
How did I get started in drumline?
Yeah.
I started out as a freshman in high school. I didn't know how to... Oh, hey. I didn't know how to play an instrument or anything like that. Closest thing I ever done is learn how to play piano when I was 6 years old in the Philippines, which is where I was originally from. Didn't know how to read music, didn't know how to play an instrument, so my friend just kind of recruited me. He's definitely one of the best drummers in the drum line. He's like, come join. And I said, I don't know how to play anything. That's okay, play cymbals. So I started playing cymbals, and the rest is history. If you start on the cymbal line, don't be discouraged. A lot of kids, it's like, oh, I started on the snare line as a freshman. It's like, that's great, but it's also an indicator of your drum line. Right? Yeah.
Or maybe you're a hot shot. But a quick side story is that one of my most, decorated students, I guess, started as a freshman, and when I first got to this high school, this marching band marched cowbell.
Oh wow! How do you march a do you put it in a harness?
No. He holds the cowbell, and this is before I got to the school. But this kid would walk around the field, and played
Oh
the
man,
cowbell on the marching band field.
what a great gig!
Yeah, amazing, right? This other student started on the cymbal line. His name's Sam Taylor. Give him a shout out if you guys know Sam. Started out on the cymbal line as a freshman. Eventually made it onto snare. Joined Green Thunder Indoor Percussion. Went on to march at University of Illinois on their drum line, and then aged out with the Cavaliers. And that guy started on the cymbal line.
Wow.
In high school.
Okay.
So if you play on the cymbal line, keep going. That's the way to do it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And there's definitely some badass cymbal players out there, so shout out to those guys.
Yeah. Okay. Why did you choose tenors over snare drum or bass?
It seemed like a natural progression. Back in the day, I don't know how it was like for you, but
Yeah.
it's like, the notion is that, okay, you start at cymbals, then you you get promoted to bass, you get promoted to quads, and then the ultimate is the snares, right? So I thought, okay, the next progression from the bass drum line is quads. And, but then, those times were starting to change in terms of quads and snares are about the same. So then I kind of thought, okay, I'll just stick to it. My quad instructor, who is his name is Vern Johnson, old school Blue Devil quad guy. He encouraged me to stay, and that's why I stayed on quads.
Nice. Okay. Hi, Carl. Saw your video about the negative comments on your video.
Oh, that's definitely one of the more popular ones.
It bothers me when people critique me. Any advice? Sorry, are we walking through your video?
Is this your Periscope?
Yeah. Are you guys Periscoping? What are you guys doing?
What's Periscope?
What's Periscope?
It's a live feed.
streaming. You guys are live.
I've never seen it.
Say hi, guys.
What's up?
Yeah, give some hearts. Hello, folks. Give some hearts for these two ladies who are filming. Fantastic. Look, those hearts, those are for you guys.
Oh, man, it's a lot of hearts.
Yeah, we're popular. We're live streaming. That's cool. Check it out. All right, have a good night. Okay, so, right? Hey, you never know where you're going to meet people, right?
Hey.
Mark. Okay, so the question is, saw your video about the negative comments on your video. It bothers me when people critique me. Any advice?
Okay, so I think I was talking about this earlier, right? It's all in how you take it. So, whether it's negative or positive, just take it as every comment is a good comment. You can learn from everything, whether it's negative or positive. Just don't take it personal.
Yeah.
That's the really important part. It's just get rid of your ego, right? And that's huge. We all have an ego. The biggest thing about not letting any comment get to you at all, whether that's in drumming, whether that's in life, somebody calls you, people say, I'm short. Oh, no, but the thing is, I am short, whatever, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Just be real, and don't take it personal, yo, and if anything, if somebody can, make you feel insecure about something, own it. Just own it, and then, nothing can hurt you. Bam.
Nice. We're walking our way back to our stuff, our home beat. Preach! Oh, dude, I got a story to tell you.
Oh, yeah.
So after the last Periscope, Patrick, I don't know if Patrick is still on here, he mentioned to me, so the last video lesson I did was about 4-2-1 grid.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so he mentioned, sometimes people honestly don't know any better and are regurgitating what they hear every day. Yep,
Sure.
that's true. So I did a lesson on 4-2-1 grid, and then afterwards, Patrick, here we go, present.
Nice.
Patrick, who follows you also, said,
Thank
hey, great content, but even though I already knew what 4-2-1 grid was, I just heard it in a different way, and it was really helpful. Carl Drum Tech taught me that even when you already know something, listen to it again, because you can learn something from another way of describing it.
Absolutely.
So
I love hearing the same stuff over and over again, because it's like you said, right? It's the reinforcement,
Yeah.
right? And you can never be like, oh, it's the same damn information. Again, it's all in how you take it, right?
Yeah.
It's like reinforcement is good. It forces you to kind of evaluate and reevaluate over and over and over again, so you can have a good idea of what you actually believe and what you actually want to move forward with.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, what does S/O mean? To Carl for showing me the article you wrote about the worst snare drummer ever. Skills every day at 120.
Which is a dope blog. Totally dope. Well written. I mean, I don't know if were you an English major or anything like that? I am, but
No, I wasn't.
yeah, it was well written.
Wow, coming from an English major, that's
sick.
shout out.
It was sick.
Appreciate it, bud.
Yeah.
So actually, that's what we're here doing. What we're doing here today, guys. We're doing. Oh, shout out. Thanks, Mark. That's what I learned. You learn something every day. That's what I learned.
Are you younger than me? I think
Yeah,
you're younger
I'm
than
younger
me.
than
I'm
you.
36.
Did you know what shout out S/O meant?
Yes, I did.
Okay, well he's cooler.
Sorry, I didn't help you out. My
He's
bad.
older and cooler, apparently. Yeah. I'm getting hip, right? That's why I got to stay connected to the youngins. The more you know, absolutely. So that's what we're actually doing here tonight, guys. Is we're shooting a video for Carl's channel on YouTube. You can find him at Carl Drumtech as well, and he's going to be talking today about the blog post that I wrote last month called "The Worst Snare Drummer Ever." How many of you have seen the worst snare drummer you've ever seen?
Terrible.
The worst snare drum I've ever seen. Now, I said this last time. Before you send me hate mail, realize that that it's actually a positive article. What is that? A star? Yeah. It's actually, there's a positive spin on the article, and that's what we're shooting the video on today.
Right.
So we're going to have a conversation about that here in just a second, but we just wanted to get on and say hi to you guys. And I wanted you guys to meet Carl and check him out also. One thing that you should do, those of you who have shared this so far, thank you so much. You can share this with all your social media platforms. People can catch the replay view later, especially if you found this content interesting, entertaining, or helpful.
And this is my first time periscoping. I really think this is like the coolest thing ever. Wow,
Guys,
it's so dope.
Carl's first Periscope. You see these hearts?
I'm like nerding out, like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like,
The more, Mark, you're teaching me so much today. This means the more you know. God, this is a whole nother
oh,
like.
thank you, Gridbook.
Yeah.
That means a lot. Thank
Guys,
you.
you're lining up these hearts here, and that means you know you like Carl, and he appreciates that. So, first Periscope for Carl. Boop, 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 boop.
Man.
Let's see it. Single stroke roll
Thank you, guys.
on your phone. Get those hearts live. Okay. One last question. We're gonna get going. I just want to get to Kaysen's question. Swag Like Goku says, "Hey Wei, I'm going into musical therapy for college. Any advice?"
Musical therapy.
Musical therapy. Well,
I've heard of something like that. I have a former student who's kind of in like, I think that's what it is, musical therapy. Where
Yeah,
like
music
they
therapy.
They use music as a way to kind of like, like maybe if they go to prisons or something like that,
Yeah.
like teach people how to like play music.
I'd never heard of music therapy until I got to school.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just kind of like a soft subject, but music therapy is actually something that they use in many different formats and institutions, hospitals, rehabilitation centers.
And not many people know about it. And I think it's starting to grow.
It's like
right
a new,
now.
it's a new field
thing.
in music.
Yeah.
It could be people who are dealing with cognitive disabilities, rehabilitation, learning disabilities, things like that. I think the advice I would give for this, Kaysen, is the same advice I'd give for anyone who's joining a field, which is, first of all, find the best music therapist that you can find, and tag on to what they're doing and be around them so you can learn from what they're doing.
Like I said, I have a former student who's in that right now, so if you want to link up with that person, let me know.
Hey, Carl, at Carl Drumtech. And earlier we talked a little bit about empathy. A field like that, empathy, creativity, patience, those are all going to be super important qualities to have as you work with people in the music therapy field. So just start tapping into it. And then I think the last thing I would say about this is that just like anything else, like if you want to be a teacher, start teaching. If you want to be a
basketball player,
you should be playing basketball 24/7. If you want to do music therapy, then you need to hook up with a music therapist who is doing music therapy and show up like Carl did at Torrance and just say like, hey, I'm here, I'd like to help, what can I do? And just be around, because the sooner you get started, the more of an advantage you're going to have once you really start getting into it.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. All right, guys. So we're going to wrap up here. We're going to start walking back towards our stuff, provided that it's still there.
Do you guys have any questions that you want to hop in with real quick?
Let's take some open questions for everyone real quick. And again, thanks for the shares, the invitations. Thanks for the hearts, guys. We really appreciate it. And thanks for joining us here tonight. Questions.
No
Questions. All right, no problem.
Easy.
This is easy, right? Beetle Percussion. What's up,
What
brother?
up,
Thanks for
Beetle?
joining. We just had a
Big fan of your stuff. For real.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark. Thanks for joining in. There is one more thing. Let me just make sure I've hit everything here. Outgoing Hearts, as you guys are clicking hearts, thanks very much. Mostly member player. How do I become more confident on snare? Great question.
I think that's your department for sure.
Well, what Carl's referring to is I spent my first 3 summers in DCI playing snare. And then my last year, I switched to front ensemble and played marimba with Cavaliers. And people usually think that's, like, people who find that are like, what? Why would you go from the snare line to the to marimba in the front ensemble, because like Carl was saying earlier, typically what people think is like, oh, you move your way up and the snare line's the top of the food chain. And
I mean, in some years in drumline, it's like the people who don't make battery go to the front ensemble.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
so
that's
bad.
how it happens. But that's not the case when you're playing at a DCI level.
yeah.
I mean, like every person in their section is the top of the game. And I could talk about this for a long time,
Sure,
but let me keep it short. The point is you've seen snare drummers who can't play keyboards, and you've seen keyboard players who can't play drums. But the best drummers I've seen have also been great keyboard players. The best keyboard players I've seen have also been great drummers. How many keyboard players do you know that when it comes to playing like a strict 16th note pattern, their time gets weird? Or they can't move their hands, they don't have as much chops as like a snare drummer. But then, how many snare drummers have you met who, because they think melodically, they play with lyricism in their music, it makes them a better snare drummer? It's musical, right? There's expression behind the music that they're playing. So the question is, how do you get better at snare drumming? You play a lot of snare drum, man. Pick up a stick,
Pretty much.
get on a pad, get on a drum, even better yet, and you just got to start playing snare drum. Start hanging out with your snare drum buddies. Say, hey man, what are you working on? Show me something, and just start drumming with them. That's a big part of it.
Absolutely. And I thought I saw some questions about how do you get people to join your drumline? Is that what it was?
Yeah, like recruiting?
Yeah, recruiting. I think this goes back to what I said before, which is like, it's got to be a party, man. Like, you got to like enjoy drumming so much that, that's what actually gets people to want to join. It's like, oh, that looks fun, because it looks like they're having fun. So have fun with it, really enjoy it. And you can't really force anybody to do it, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but sometimes you can be like, hey, just come down to rehearsal, just try it out, no obligation, just try one rehearsal out and then see if you like it. I got one of my best drummers doing that. It's like, just come down to one rehearsal. And I tell my kids, like, when you recruit somebody, just tell them just one rehearsal. And it ended up being like one of my best drummers ever. He's actually touring with he's toured with Usher, he's toured with Demi Lovato, and I think currently he's with Adam. What was that guy's name from American Idol?
Adam Levine?
No, I can't remember. But anyways,
He's a big deal.
He's one of the best drummers I've ever had, and all because like, and it's funny. He told me like that first rehearsal, he hated it, but somehow he came back, and then he liked it.
Yeah, I got a story for you. So, we had a bass spot open up at Green Thunder Percussion. Oh, Luke Pigman, you're gonna love this story. So check this out. We had a bass spot open up at Green Thunder Percussion, which is now Cavalier Indoor Percussion. When we first started back in the day for Cavaliers, it was called Green Thunder Percussion. Bass spot opened up, like every drum line, bass guy quits, bass spot opens up. I recruit our tuba player from the wind ensemble that I taught, who was like getting into percussion and was kind of interested in it, comes to one rehearsal, and his first rehearsal is like a 12-hour a day. It's like
Nice.
8 to 12, 1 to 5, 6 to 10. At the end of the night, as he's leaving, packing up, I say, hey, how was your first day? His name's Tyler. Tyler, if you're watching this, I love you. I go, hey, Tyler, how was your first day? And I haven't told the story. Maybe I should write a blog post about this.
Sure.
Breaks down and starts crying.
Wow.
Goes home. I talk him into coming back the next day. Ends up making the line, finishes out the season, goes on to march contra at Cavaliers, and this summer he's marching his age out in the bass line at the Cavaliers.
Wow. That's pretty awesome.
That's cool, right?
Dang.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
You know?
Nice. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up here because we got to shoot this video. But we want to say thanks again for watching this. Give us some, if you like, you can give us some outgoing hearts here. But before we do go, I've got a little something for Carl.
Uh-oh.
That I want to hit him with here. Not sure if Beetle's still in the room here, but I got a little something that I want to give to Carl. Let me get my backpack out here.
Oh my god, I'm super curious.
Yeah, so hey guys, I just met Carl a couple months ago, but immediately when I met him, I just realized, like, man, this is a super nice guy, putting out great content, totally behind what he's doing, and just wanted to let him know how much I appreciate seeing his content online, and what a cool guy I think he is, so I just got him a little something as he's coming in here.
Dang!
So, yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is a...
I'm already married,
I think
guys.
I know what it is. I think I know. It's a beetle pad, isn't it?
Let's take a look.
Like I said, I'm a huge fan of this product. I mean, eco-friendly, I mean, for the environment, and I've always wanted to try it out, like see how it feels, see how it sounds, and dude, Thank you.
Yeah, man.
You're
my
the
pleasure.
man.
My pleasure.
Oh my
man.
God, I appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you so much.
Absolutely.
Wow.
This is a product that I've been checking out for the last like couple months.
Yeah.
But I finally ordered a couple of my own to see them, and this is the one with the 3/16 inch rubber. It's supposed to be more a little harder surface, a little thinner, so it's more like a marching thing. And Carl's been posting a lot of lesson videos, so check out his Instagram feed, check out his YouTube videos. Maybe you'll see the pad in here.
I will.
Yeah,
You will see it.
And you'll want to say thanks to Beetle Percussion for
Thank you,
making
guys.
such a beautiful
Yeah.
product as they're making. And I do want to say also, this is not a paid endorsement. It's just a product that I think is awesome. Wanted to hit my buddy Carl up with some swag. So yeah, Kaysen, Beautiful Life. Kaysen's a Beetle ambassador, so
Nice.
he's hyped.
Nice.
All right, guys. Thanks, Beetle Percussion. Thanks for joining the scope, and thanks for sharing. All right, guys. Don't forget to follow. Click the number over here and say follow so you get the notifications for the next time we hang out and then future lessons. The next formal scope that I'm going to be doing is on Sunday at 5 p.m. over here, which is 7 p.m. Central. So you can catch the next lesson, video lesson. Haven't chosen what the topic is, but if you send me a tweet and there's something in particular that you want me to teach about, let me know.
And I'm going to have to get on this Periscope thing. It's so dope.
It's fun, right? And you see all these
sure.
hearts flying up over here. This is cool. People tapping. Doo, 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 doo. One thing that I always think is funny is when you go like this and you go like this, and it looks like you're making the hearts.
Oh, there you go.
Come up
Like this. There you go. Nice.
This is hilarious. That's getting a little dirty, man.
Oh, sorry. Oh my God.
All right. Don't forget to follow, share, and invite people so that we can watch the replay. And I just want to say thanks again, guys, for joining us and spending your evening with us on Wednesday. Once again, we're here in West Los Angeles. Check out the LACMA. And then also check out Carl's channel on YouTube because that's where this video interview that we're about to do is going to be.
At Carl Drum Tech. Same thing. It's easy.
At Carl Drum Tech. This is a new thing that I drew today. But if you're looking for me, same handle at William Pan, Instagram, Twitter, and Periscope. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Bye.
Peace.